You're listening to Central Hip Hop Hour with Gabe Schall and Nate Havrilla. Starting now.
It's Triple H Central Hip Hop Hour on the beat, where we talk all things hip hop. I'm Gabe Schall.
And I'm Nate Havrilla. This week, we're going to go through our albums of the year for the past decade, starting all the way back in 2013. Before we begin, though, I just want to ask, do you think we're going to have any same answers for any years?
I think I'd say like maybe 2 or 3. I think there's some that are like kind of a lock for pretty much any hip hop fan. I know we'll have at least one.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I know we'll have at least one.
I agree.
But yeah, I think we'll have like 2 or 3. Maybe. I think there's gonna be some we disagree on, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, I tried to go with mainly because I think there's a difference between the greatest album and the album I listen to the most.
Yeah, definitely.
So I tried to go with mainly albums that I personally listen to the most
me
more.
too.
But I definitely, I mean, there's some albums so great that you just have to give them a mention.
I think that's the way to go. Music is not ever objective, you know, and I don't think there's any way to separate like what you think is the best versus what you like the most, you know. But definitely like going with your personal favorite is the best way to go about it. But let's start 2013. Pretty good year. A lot of standout albums. Obviously we were pretty young during this time, so I wasn't listening to this music as it was coming out.
No,
but,
definitely not.
What do you have 2013?
I have Because the Internet by Childish Gambino. I actually have this album on vinyl. I'm a huge fan. I really like Gambino. I just think this album is probably his best, if not one of his best. There's songs like Shadows, Pink Toes, Flight of the Navigator, and Earn. And my favorite song on the album, I have a tie between 3005, which is definitely the most popular song on the album, and The Worst Guys, which features Chance the Rapper.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I love that song. I've listened to it so many different situations, so many scenarios. It's a great like sunset summer song. It's beautiful. So this was definitely the standout album for me of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, Because of the Internet is kind of the album that got me into hip hop, because I feel like it had like a good transition from like pop music into hip hop. It's not anything like super lyrical focused. There's a lot of like catchy songs on there. But yeah, I absolutely love Because of the Internet. Amazing album.
Yeah, I agree. Let me hear yours.
So I don't know. I think the album that I chose and Because the Internet are pretty close. I also want to give a shout out to Long Live ASAP. That's also pretty close up there for this year. Nothing Was the Same by Drake.
Okay.
Really great album. My Name Is My Name by Pusha T. Really good album. But my number one from this year is Yeezus by Kanye.
Yep.
Pretty, I don't know. Is this album still polarizing? I think it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely at the time was kind of like the branch out experimental type of thing. And I mean, looking back on it now, it probably wouldn't stand out as much as it did at the time. But for the genre then and for Kanye then, I think, it was very polarizing.
I think it kind of paved the way for the really dark sound that hip hop kind of is in now still. Probably paved the way for stuff like Whole Lotta Red down the road, like that really harsh production. But the thing I really like about this album is like how industrial it is and how harsh these sounds are, but how clean it still sounds, you know? And we don't really see that in like industrial hip hop very much. Like usually if you get songs like that, like you get like a Playboi Carti album with some industrial influence, like that rage, harsh 808s, like harsh bass, harsh synths. Sometimes it's kind of painful on the ears, but I think just the way that Yeezus is engineered is just really impressive for me. Topic-wise, lyrically, I think he sort of like drags you into the rock star, like Hollywood lifestyle in a way that like kind of immerses you in it, even though it's something that's so far from us, something that's really not relatable for us. Somehow he drags you into that world, and you get songs like Hold My Liquor, Guilt Trip, that just like have you like floating out of your seat with that, like those synths and that production. And I think it has like amazing writing and rapping too on stuff like New Slaves, Bound 2. Yeah, it's an incredibly concise album. What do you think of it? Do you like that album?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Kanye albums. I think it's a little bit almost too experimental for me, which is kind of funny
Fair
because
enough.
I'm such like a Cardi, iMusic, Whole Lotta Red fan, but
They're different things.
Yeah.
They're just, yeah.
yeah, just in terms of, I feel like when I listen to Kanye, that isn't really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lot more of that graduation, that late registration type of thing.
And I think that's completely valid.
Yeah,
He has a lot of lanes that he's gone into, especially like near the middle, latter half of his career. He's gone into like a darker lane. And like I was saying, I think he paved the path for that because he is a trendsetter for the industry.
Yep.
But yeah, I totally understand that. This isn't one of my favorite Kanye albums either. I just think it's the best of that year.
Okay.
But I guess that kind of speaks to his catalog.
Truly.
But yeah. 2014, kind of a light year for me.
I
There
agree.
wasn't a lot that like really stood out to me here. But there is one. What did you have though?
I had 2014 Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole.
Awesome.
It stood out to me on the year. I mean, I'm not a huge J. Cole fan, if I'm being honest,
Me
but
neither.
this album I think is easily his best. You got songs like January 28th, 03 Adolescence, GOMD, No Role Models, I mean, Wet Dreams.
Yeah.
But easily my favorite song and my favorite J. Cole song, and honestly probably one of my favorite hip-hop songs ever, is Love Yours.
Yeah.
I really love it. I love the message to the point where I actually have a tattoo of
that's awesome.
Love Yours on me. And I think it's a very just important song, and it inspires me. But in the album as a whole, I think it's a very good album, and like I said, I think it's J. Cole's best. So
Absolutely. I agree. I'm not a huge J. Cole fan, but this one, it has like just that perfect like nostalgic vibe to it that he captures, especially songs like Love Yours, Wet Dreams, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is a foundational album for a lot of people, like especially in our age group, for like getting them into hip hop.
Yep.
They have really positive memories with it, so I definitely respect that choice. For me, I have it's not like an underground album, but it's definitely not super mainstream. I have Pinata by Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Have you heard that?
I've heard of the album. I've never really been able to get into Freddie Gibbs a ton.
Really?
It's just I like what he does, but it's just not much of my style, like that Freddie Gibbs, JPEG Mafia type of thing. I respect it, but personally, I've just never really like tapped into it, I guess.
Fair
but
enough.
I know the greatness of it.
Yeah. Well, this album, I mean, obviously Madlib is a pretty well-known hip-hop producer, very critically acclaimed, and for a good reason. Like, he's one of the best producers in the game. And I feel like this album especially has, like, so many... It's a really, like, catchy style of sample chopping that I really enjoy. And there's also, like, a catchiness to Freddie Gibbs rapping. Like, he never takes a break, you know? Like, he's constantly flowing. And I feel like he was also writing like really good hooks, really good like head bopping songs. Specifically this song called High featuring Danny Brown. One of the most like infectious hip hop songs I've ever heard. If you haven't heard it, I would definitely recommend checking out that one.
Okay.
And if you like it, checking out the rest of the album, because it just has like, this is like the perfect album to just like drive with the windows down, like hanging out with your friends. It's playing in the background. And I think Freddie Gibbs as a whole is like a really good like genre of music for that. Yeah. So this is the album. If you want to give him a shot, this is the one I would recommend.
All right, I'll
Pinata.
definitely. I think I tried to listen to Alfredo, I believe it was called.
That's a really good one
Yep,
too.
that was the one I listened to through a couple of years ago probably, and like I said, it was good, just not really my style, but I've grown a lot as a music listener since then, so I'll definitely have to check this one out.
Yeah, the thing with Alfredo is it's a bit slower, you know? I think a lot of those songs like don't even have drums on them at all.
Yeah.
But this one has a bit more energy. I think you might enjoy it a lot, especially High. Check that one out.
Okay,
but
I will for
from
sure.
this year, shout out Oxymoron, Schoolboy Q,
Okay.
and Faces by Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Also.
Yep. 2015.
Pretty Pretty good year.
Pretty great year,
Yeah.
I'd say. I personally had a hard time picking between two albums.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I had a hard time choosing, but it kind of hurt, you
Yeah.
know, because there's two of my favorite albums of all time came out this year. I'm wondering if we're on the same page. I'm not entirely sure, but
My two albums are, in my opinion, one of the best trap albums of all time in DS2 by Future. And then obviously To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly is the one I went with. I agree DS2 is one of the best trap albums of all time, but I also think one of the other best trap albums of all time came out this year, and that's Rodeo by Travis Scott. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Okay.
That I was like, when we set out to do this episode, I got so excited because I'm going to get to talk about Rodeo, and then I saw what else came out that year, To Pimp a Butterfly, and that's just going to sweep any all-time list you ever do. I mean, what is there to say that hasn't been said?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is probably the best hip hop album ever created in terms of artistry, in terms of message. I actually went with DS2.
Really?
But that's just because I'm more of a trap fan myself. I mean, obviously, I would say All Right is my most listened to of both albums, but in terms of which album that I listen to on a day-to-day basis more would be DS2. I think if you listen to the albums as a whole, I think obviously To Pimp a Butterfly is better because I think it's the best album of all time. But in terms of my what I listen to on a day-to-day basis, I mean, songs like I Serve the Bass, Where You At, The Percocet and the Stripper Joint, and then my personal favorite Commas are all on that. And like I said, it's one of the best trap albums ever, and I'm a big trap fan. So, but I mean, To Pimp a Butterfly is the best overall album experience, and like I said, just everything about it is so perfect, and the way Kendrick did it. But yeah.
I was just listening to I Serve the Bass earlier. It's a crazy album, yeah. But To Pimp a Butterfly is just I was going through some of the tracks to prepare for this, and I think it's genuinely at least top 5 produced albums I've ever heard. I think it's this perfect blend of jazz music and modern hip hop techniques, like a song like All Right. There's nothing else, no other song that sounds like that.
Truly not. I mean, Pharrell did so good with the production on it, and his vocals in the background are beautiful, and it everything about the song. I mean, it's really hard to make a song about the struggles of being black in America and have it go so mainstream to the point where everybody just loves it and listens to it just because of how great the song is.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's another great thing about the album is it balances those banger songs that went really big, like King Kunta, All Right, stuff like that. Also, shout out You Ain't Gotta Lie. That is such an underrated song. Everyone should listen to that song. But yeah, the way that stuff balances with the deeper songs, the more lyrically focused songs is really impressive. And I think that's something Kendrick has always been good at, but this album I think is the best example of it.
Agreed.
This is such a consistent album. There's not a single song on it. If you said this was your favorite song, I wouldn't be mad. Every single song is amazing.
Yeah.
And you're getting something different in every single one. Like I was saying, the production is amazing. And when I say I think it's top production of all time, I'm talking all genres. I think it's incredible.
I can respect that.
And yeah, I think it's some of his best rapping, best performances, best hooks. It's just, everyone knows it's one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah.
We don't got to talk about it anymore. But shout out also from this year, if you're reading this, It's Too Late by Drake.
That's a great album too.
Might be my favorite project from him.
I can respect that. It's personally not mine. All time, this is probably going to sound crazy, but mine's Certified Lover Boy.
Actually, I've been hearing that take from people, and I don't get it.
For me, I got my license in 2021, right when that dropped. That was the start of my junior year of high school. It's just a very nostalgic listen for me, and there were so many songs that went people everywhere listened to, and and it's just like it makes me feel like just so happy every time I listen to it. So I think in terms of his ability, it's not the best at showcasing that, but in terms of what I enjoy, it's my favorite. But
fair enough.
if you're reading this, It's Too Late is probably one of his best like artistically put together albums.
I think that's like his best rapping. The best display of him as a rapper, which is not always his priority, but as far as like hip hop, I think that's probably his best. But also shout out at long last ASAP and obviously Rodeo, my beloved. We'll talk about it one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to 2016, another crazy year.
Yes.
Everyone looks back on this one with nostalgia. Like, let's go back to 2016. The vibes were incredible, and it's probably because of the music.
Yeah.
We got another Kendrick album, Untitled Unmastered. Shout out Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. Jeffrey by Young Thug. Oh my God. That's a great album.
It is.
But what do you have?
So I actually want to give a quick shout out. We had To Pimp a Butterfly in 2015 in terms of one of the best produced, best put together albums. 2016 we had Blonde by Frank Ocean. This is probably the best album in my opinion ever made across all genres.
Really? I think that's fair.
I mean, Frank Ocean is truly a once in a lifetime talent. It sucks that he doesn't drop anymore, but when you put out something like Blonde, I understand just deciding,
you can kind of write off that for a while.
I mean, it's hard to get mad at an artist after they dropped such a beautiful album. So
I think he'll come back one day.
Hopefully. But for hip hop, I went with The Divine Feminine by Mac Miller. I love this album. Mac really speaks about just kind of being in love and being in a relationship with a woman and just kind of being like entranced by them. And me and my girlfriend like love this album. We're big Mac Miller fans, so I kind of connected to that. You got emotional songs like Congratulations, which that piano riff is truly like one of the most like beautiful pieces of music. And it's used for so many different things. You got kind of happy and flowy songs like My Favorite Part. You got songs with Kendrick like God Is Fair, Sexy, Nasty. But my personal favorite song is Dang featuring Anderson .Paak. I love kind of just like the vibes on it, the jazz vibes to go with it. I'm a huge jazz fan, so I really enjoy this album. I don't think there's a miss on it, and I think it's my favorite album of 2016. What about you? What's your album?
I'll definitely have to check that out. I haven't even heard it. I haven't tapped into Mac Miller as much as I should, but I definitely will, especially with that high of a recommendation.
Yeah.
But for 2016, I have for hip hop, for R&B it'd be Blonde, but for hip hop, I have The Life of Pablo by Kanye.
Yep.
I think this album's kind of a mess. It's kind of all over the place, but I think this is the last time he really made an amazing album, and I think it's the last time he was really himself on an album.
Agreed.
And like having fun with the music. And it really just bleeds through. Like there isn't like a super heavy like overall theme of the album. He isn't really tackling any super insane topips, but you get songs that are like beautiful songs like Ultralight Beam, which like makes me cry every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Saint Pablo, Wolves, like amazing production. And then you get really fun songs like No More Parties in LA with Kendrick, one of the most insane collabs I've ever heard in hip hop. You get stuff like Waves, 30 Hours, Father Stretch My Hands, like just insane production, insane, like it just kind of makes you happy, you know?
Yep.
And I really enjoy that in hip hop music whenever someone is able to pull that off. And yeah, I've always been a big fan of Kanye's catalog, at least his older stuff. And yeah, I can't put that bias aside. I really like this album.
Yeah, great album. I mean, I think Kanye was really able to showcase his production value on this album, especially. Yeah, I mean, it's Kanye, so even at his worst, he's still gonna at least do decent, you know. And I mean, obviously, that's not even close to his worst.
Yeah, I think this is It might be a hot take, but I think this is in my top 5 albums from him. I'd have to give it a little bit more thought, but I think
I can respect that for sure.
It's probably 4 or 5, but
as long
still.
as Vultures isn't up there.
It's not, no. Jeez.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to review those someday.
I don't know if I can.
I don't know if I can get through another listen, but yeah.
All right, 2017.
Insane year.
Yeah.
When 2016 was good, but I have like a huge list of albums that I was considering for this.
Let's hear. I want to hear your take first.
My number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have "Damn" by Kendrick.
I can respect that.
Yeah. Once again, showing my Kendrick fan status. My hot take is that this album is a 10 out of 10. I don't think a lot of people think that, but I think that. I think although the production isn't as ambitious as maybe some things he's tried before, like especially not as ambitious as "To Pimp a Butterfly," I think it's just as effective. He's going for like this like really deep, like psychedelic, dark sound stuff like "Yeah," "Element," "Feel," "Pride." They're just like very mesmerizing and dark, and I think that doesn't really appeal to a lot of people, but for me, like I just love the vibe of this album. I think there's not a lot of other stuff like it, especially not in Kendrick's catalog. Usually his songs are a little bit brighter, but especially just not as dark as this. But also like stuff like XXX and DNA are like some of the best like dark trap production I've ever heard. It's kind of a shame that he didn't do more stuff like this, because I really, really like this sound from him. But I think like the little snippet of it we got from him was super cool, and like obviously like a song like "Humble" just went crazy. Like everyone loved that sound from him.
Mm-hmm.
But also just the reason why this album sticks with me so much is because of the story of it, the way that everything ties together so perfectly with Duckworth at the end of the album, talking about how just insane the circumstances of his life are. If you haven't heard this album, you should definitely listen to it. It'll kind of mess with your head a little bit when you finish it, and just make you think. And that's what Kendrick's albums do. They always make you think.
Yep.
And I really think this is a 10 out of 10 album. I love it.
I can respect that. I think Duckworth is probably in my top 3 Kendrick songs, maybe my top 1.
I think it might be his best.
Yeah, the story on it is ridiculous. I mean, he showcased his storytelling ability so beautifully. Along the beat is beautiful to listen to. I mean,
literally no one else could have made that song, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like, you got to give him props for that.
Yeah. Great album. Before you do your honorable mentions, I want to do my album. I did "Flower Boy" by Tyler, the Creator.
Absolutely valid.
This was probably the first like hip hop album that I really got into that kind of changed my music taste, I'd say. I mean, it all started with "See You Again." I mean, I was in like 8th grade, 7th grade when this album was big, or when it first dropped. So that's the first song that I heard and the first one I got into, and I was a huge fan. And then as time went on, I started listening to songs like "Where This Flower Blooms," 911 / "Mr. Lonely," "Forward," "Boredom." I think the features on here, I mean, Rex Orange County is one of my favorite artists ever, and his features are great. I mean, you got Frank Ocean, you got Steve Lacy, you got Lil Wayne, you got Kali Uchis.
Insane feature list.
Absolutely ridiculous feature list. Probably one of the best feature lists of all time, in my opinion. And, I mean, this album is probably the most, like, summer, windows down, sunset type of albums for me, and like I said, it just truly was one of those albums that changed who I was and helped me, helped my music taste formulate and helped it mesh into what it is today. So, that's why I had to go with it. Obviously, "Damn" was a great album, and there were countless good albums in 2017, but "Flower Boy" just will always stick out to me.
Yeah, "Flower Boy" was definitely up there competing with "Damn" for me. I think this is like the album that put everyone onto Tyler if you weren't onto him already. Yeah. And this is when he changed direction with this album.
Yes.
He tried to make songs that could appeal to more people, and it absolutely paid off. Like, this album has aged so well. It set the tone for the rest of the albums Tyler's made since then. And yeah, I love this album also.
Me too.
But also shout out, I have a long list here. Big Crit, "Forever Is a Mighty Long Time." Big Fish Theory by Vince Staples, 444 by Jay-Z, Without Warning, 21 Savage, Offset, and Metro Boomin. Love is Rage 2.
Oh.
And then R&B wise, Control by SZA, obviously.
Oof.
What a year for music, 2017.
2016. I mean, honestly, that 3-year run.
Yeah.
And I think...
You talking about 2018 too?
I mean, I was going 2015, but
2015,
I was about to say
it might carry through to 2018.
I think it will. I
don't have as long a list, but I have a stack list of things that I was considering.
Yeah.
For 2018.
Me too.
What did you have at number 1 though?
You know, this was very difficult for me. I think 2 of my favorite artists, probably 2 of my top 3 artists in Mac Miller and Playboi Carti, both dropped one of their best albums, if not their best, depending on who you ask. We had Swimming by Mac Miller and Die Lit by Playboi Carti. I literally was going through the album, like listening song by song and comparing, and I was just like, it was difficult.
It's a hard choice.
It was difficult. I ended up deciding on Die Lit though. I think that this album I've listened to it pretty much since it dropped. I still remember when I heard Shoota for the first time, and I was like entranced. It was such a good song. And
shout out Pierre Bourne.
Yep.
Really. He produced the entire thing, right?
I think so.
At least executive produced the entire thing. And you hear his sound just all over it. It's so unique.
Pierre Bourne is probably my favorite producer of all time.
That's valid, yeah.
I just love like the trippiness, and something about his beats always like scratches my brain, even to the point where on his solo career, his production there is great. So
I haven't listened to a lot of his solo music. I've heard a lot of people really like The Life of Pierre 4.
Yes.
I've heard that's really good, but I haven't tapped in.
I recommend checking out Poof and Guillotine off of that album. Those are 2 of my favorites. But yeah, Die Lit, I mean, so many classics. You got like Shoota, Flatbed Freestyle, No Time.
Long Time Intro.
Yes, Long Time Intro. That was so difficult. I mean, I clicked on the intros for both, and it was Come Back to Earth by Mac Miller and Long Time by Playboi Carti, which to me is like the same song, just in like a different part of my brain. They both just have that same vibe. So it was difficult. My favorite song off of this album is Lean for Real.
Great song.
Featuring Skepta. I think the beat is probably one of my favorite beats of all time, if not my favorite. There's just like, I don't know how Pierre did it, truly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the best things about like really good produced albums is like, how did you even think of this?
Exactly. You know? It just sounds like you're driving in the summer. Like it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous song. The Skepta feature is ridiculous. So it's probably one of my favorite trap songs ever, if not my favorite. And I truly just don't think that there was a miss on this album. Probably part because of the production and part just what Carti does on the production. But a big shout out to Swimming, though. I mean, many classics on there, too. How about your 2018? What stood out to you?
Die Lit was definitely making a play here for me. Also, like this, I have 4 albums here that are like contenders for some of my favorite hip-hop albums of all time that all came out in the same year. Shout out Daytona by Pusha T. Like, oh my God, like what an insane like package. It's 7 songs, super concise, but every single song is incredible. Also, Kids See Ghosts came out this year. I mean, that's like a whole separate conversation. That song, what Kanye and Kid Cudi did on that, insane. But my album of the year for 2018 was Astroworld by Travis Scott.
That was my third.
Yeah. Another just insane like package of trap songs. It's like some of the most insane like psychedelic trap production that you'll ever hear. Absolutely stacked feature list. Frank Ocean. We have The Weeknd on Skeletons.
Yeah, like Juice WRLD, Drake.
Yeah. Drake on Sicko Mode. I mean, Sicko Mode is like one of the most iconic like modern hip-hop songs of all time. And I don't think like just because it got so big, I don't think that makes it any worse. I think that's one of those songs where it's so huge because it's genuinely like really genius of a song. Like I don't think people say that song sucks now. They're wrong.
And I think that's another thing where like you can try to discredit Drake all you want, but
he was running music for a while.
Yes, his hit making ability was on top. Like if you put him on a song, he would carry that. I mean, you had songs like Yes and D dropping around then. Like, it didn't matter. And I think him and Travis Scott just meshed.
They had so much chemistry
yes.
on that song.
The beat switches and everything. It was just a wonderful song.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride, and that, you know, it fits with the theme of the album.
Yep.
And that like the entire track list is just taking you through so many different vibes, but it all blends together so well. I absolutely love the production on this album. It's one of my favorite produced albums, but I also think Travis like deserves his props for what he did on this. Like, he has amazing melodic rap performances on here. I think this might be his only album where like every performance, like, he has that auto-tune on him. And that might not work for some people, but I really, really like what he did here. And so you have like really hard songs like Sicko Mode, No Bystanders. We got to the debut of Don Toliver on here.
Oh, that's my favorite song off the album.
The most insane feature.
Can't say. Oh, when I saw that, when I saw Don Toliver in concert. He played that, and it was just, I mean, that's my favorite song off the album, and largely due to just like how crazy Don Toliver is on it.
That's an absolutely insane thing to like kickstart your career off of. Like, you look back on the people reacting to this album for the first time, they have no idea who this guy is, but he's like
Akon?
he's like completely like wiping the floor with everyone on this song, and a lot of people on this album also. And it's just like, like I could go on and on about how much I love this album. But,
yeah, it was my third, but I just, like, if it weren't for Mac and Cardi being like two of my favorite artists, then it definitely would have gone to Astroworld. But my personal bias kind of got in the way there. All right, 2019.
That 2015 to 18 run was insane.
I agree.
19, what do you have there?
You know, I'm a big trap fan, so I had to go with another one of the best trap albums of all time, in my opinion. So Much Fun by Young Thug.
I love this album.
Yeah, so many great songs on here. You got like Sup Mate, What's the Move, Lil Baby, Jumped Out the Window. So many just great, happy, like, I think that's Thug's like biggest talent, especially on this album, is it's just so happy. You know, it makes you feel good whenever you listen to it. You're never gonna like sit through that and be like, oh, my life sucks. You're gonna sit there and be like, dude, this is great. Like, I'm having the time of my life.
That's exactly how I would describe it too, and the album name is perfect for it. So Much Fun.
Exactly.
Like, his music just makes you smile and just be like, I love Young Thug.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
Like his vocal performances, his flows, like melodies, everything. It's just makes you happy.
Exactly. And my favorite song was Surf featuring Gunna. I think this is one of the earliest examples of that Thug and Gunna connection that ended up becoming kind of a dynamic duo in the future. I'm really hoping Thug finds it in him to forgive Gunna.
So. They have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, truly, and they fit so well, and I just love this song. So, what about you? What was your 2019?
2019, I wouldn't call it a hip hop album. I think it has a lot of hip hop influence, but it's Igor by Tyler the Creator. Another one of my favorite albums of all time. I don't really know how to define the genre of this. I think there's like pop influence, there's R&B influence, there's like funk influence.
Yeah.
But really, I think this is a generational album. I think like there isn't really a whole lot else like this. And just like Flower Boy was, this is like an insane like shift in his career. I mean, obviously he's still making like songs that can get played on the radio, like Earthquake. That he wasn't really doing earlier in his career, but like this is just such a different sound for him. It's not as rapping focused. There's still rapping on it, but it's just an insane album.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm a big Tyler fan. I've listened to it countless times. Personally, for some reason, it just hasn't, like, obviously I'm aware of how people think about it, and I understand how great it is. I mean, I love it, but compared to his other works, I've just always enjoyed, like, Flower Boy. I think I just have Flower Boy and Call Me If You Get Lost above it, personally.
Yeah. I have this at number one in his discography,
but
like,
I understand
I think
that.
those other two albums are so good that I don't care. Like, I'm not going to get mad if someone likes those more, you know?
And I think that's another big thing with Tyler is, like, you can have any of those albums as your favorite and people are going to understand no matter what, just because of how good he is. And I think each album he does just has such a separate style to it. It's all just about how it portrays to you. So yeah, I mean, great album.
Yeah,
truly.
Absolutely. From this year, also shout out All My Heroes Are Cornballs by JPEG Mafia, and R&B album When I Get Home by Solange. Have you heard that?
I can't say I have.
It's really good. There's a Cardi feature on that.
Oh,
you probably heard that song.
I have heard that. Yep.
But really good album overall. But yeah, moving into 2020, kind of a lighter year. I mean, it was COVID. There's not a whole lot from this year that really stuck out to me, but I feel like I know what yours is though.
Yeah, I mean, this was just like 2018 for me. My two favorite artists dropping two of their best albums, in my opinion. We had Circles by Mac Miller, which I think is one of like just the most heart like wrenching albums, especially the fact that it was after his death. It just brings it such an emotional appeal, and whenever that I have like grief or loss in my life, I always lean on Circles because it just feels like so understanding of that. So I love it, and definitely one of my favorite albums of all time, but I also have Whole Lotta Red in this year by Playboi Carti. So another struggle to pick, but Whole Lotta Red truly was like a lifesaver for me when I was going through a really hard time in life. It wasn't what made me sad, it was what brought me up.
Yeah, like, exactly.
It would just, if I was ever like just kind of going down the wrong path, like I would listen to this album and I would feel just like hype. I would feel good. There was times I remember sitting in school sleepy, like trying to get through the day, and I would just turn on Whole Lotta Red and it would wake me up and I'd be able to like do whatever I was doing. So many like rage rap songs. I mean, you got Rockstar Made, Stop Breathing, New Tank. You also got like Vamp Anthem, Stop Playing, Place, Over. There's just countless amount of just great songs on this album. When I first listened to it, I didn't like it. I think it had that Whole Lotta Red effect on me where as time went on, it just kind of started like, why do I kind of like this? Why do I really like this? What is going on? And eventually it became one of my favorite albums of all time. And the highlight of the album for me was I Love You, I Hate You.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think it's one of the best Pierre beats he's ever made. I think Carti flows super well in the song. And I'll just always, like, it'll always stand out to me.
Yeah, the cool thing about Whole Lotta Red is like the variety in it, because you get those super harsh songs, but you also get like Pierre Bourne production where he's kind of just floating and just vibing out to it, which is a really cool like dichotomy that album has.
Yes.
And this, like you were saying, it's just an album that has influenced so much, not only just like shaping people's lives and music tastes, but like really changed up the genre, like refreshed it a little bit.
I know.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't given that a whole listen through in a long time because it's just like it's such a long track list for me. And when I first listened to it, I remember feeling like it was a little bit inconsistent for me. Like there are songs, I forget what the song is, but the bass is just so distorted that like it's just unlistenable to me. I can't remember the name of that one, but I really do respect that album. I also want to shout out Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs. We talked about that earlier.
Yep.
Savage Mode 2, 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
Great album.
Not, I guess more of like a pop R&B album, but After Hours by The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I also liked 3:15:20 came out this year by Childish Gambino, which doesn't technically exist anymore, but good album. I really I was listening to that a lot at the time. But my favorite, have you ever listened to West Side Gun?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
My favorite from this year is Pray for Paris by West Side Gun.
Okay.
Have you heard it?
I think so. What is the album cover? The one of like dude reaching out and has like 327.
Yeah. That one.
I have listened to it.
Yeah. I really love this album. I think
boop 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 boop.
Yeah, West Side Gun is just he's so unique, you know.
Yeah.
And his whole label Griselda has like this really like grimy like sound to it, but this album specifically has like this really luscious production. And the way that I like to describe this album is like this is like the soundtrack for robbing an art museum, because like you have like that luscious like this beautiful art, but then you have like that griminess to it that he brings to those tracks, and like that juxtaposition there, I just love it. Like this is just like I absolutely love
I
this
truly
album.
think he's a one-of-one type of person. I mean, no one can do what he does on a song. I mean, he'll get the most beautiful beat and be like it, just say the weirdest, funniest thing, and you're gonna love it because he just the way he I can't think of the right word, but the way he just carries himself on the beat is like no other. And I like West Side Gun. He's a very entertaining artist to listen to.
The first time I ever heard him was on Donda by Kanye. And I was like, who is this guy? Why does he sound like this? But I think he's definitely a bit of an acquired taste. Like you gotta listen a bit and start to get it, because he's very different the way that he raps. But yeah, I love his delivery now. I love the energy that he brings to these tracks. It's really infectious. But yeah, shout out Pray for Paris.
Yep. 2021. I think this was a great year for music in my opinion. This is probably my favorite year in music. Like I mentioned earlier, just got my license, so this is really when you start listening to music and really start listening to albums. And I think for some reason every artist was like, yeah, let me drop this here. I want to give a huge shout out to Alone at Prom by Tory Lanez. Not a rap album, but
it's more like a pop
it's
album,
like a pop R&B type album. And it's one of my favorite albums of all time. As weird as it sounds, it's such like a random Tory Lanez, but
he just randomly went to this lane, that lane for one album, but he did it really well.
It was super well. I think he like mastered that 80s type of vibe. So yeah, big shout out to that. But you also had albums like Certified Lover Boy, which I mentioned earlier. You had Donda, Melodic Blue,
shout out Melodic Blue,
countless others. But my number one is going to be Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
Yep. I mean, his whole vibe on this, like that, I'm rich, like I got money, I'm living the life that I want, like, and I mean, when you listen to that album, you like share that same experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it's not the same way that Kanye did it, and Yeezus, but the way that he pulls you into that lifestyle that you may not necessarily relate to, but he brings you into that world and all of a sudden you're living in it, like you want to hop on a boat or something. Like the way that he pulled that off is just so cool. And there's no other album that sounds like this. You know, like I don't even know how to describe exactly what genre this is, like subgenre of hip hop. I really don't know. Yeah,
it's like yacht boy rap.
Yeah, exactly. And
and I think he was also one of the first to do that whole like DJ drama.
Throughout the album. Love that.
I mean, and that was hilarious. Like it was just such a funny part of the album. Like, we're on a boat. They're feeding us French vanilla ice cream.
We all got our toes out.
Yeah. I think it's just a great, like everything about it's great. And I mean, classics like What's Your Name, which that YoungBoy feature, like you looked at the track list, you're like, what?
That's what I really want to like emphasize with this one is the features. Like how specifically What's Your Name? Like how did he pull out that good of a YoungBoy feature? Like how did he get that out of him? I want to know.
I know,
especially on like such a romantic song. Like that is something you never expect.
I agree.
But also stuff like features like 42 Doug, Lil Wayne, Tizo, Uzi, like insanely stacked feature list.
I want to give a huge shout out to that Wayne feature. Hot Wind Blows is my favorite song off the album, and I think that's one of my favorite verses of all time. He just flows so well in the song to go along with Tyler's production. Like all that like little twiddling and flute in the background while he's just going like crazy. It's just he really showed how great he is, and it's amazing. I think you also have like the Ty Dolla $ign and Sweet I Thought You Wanted to Dance. You have Tizo Touchdown and Run It Up. Pharrell, Uzi, like just overall great album.
Yeah, I think this is Tyler's like best rapping album. I have this at number 2. I have Igor, this one, and Flower Boy.
I respect that.
At top 3 for Tyler. What do you think this is better than Flower Boy for you?
Yeah. I'm really kind of thinking about it now, but I always had it above Flower Boy. I'm driving 2 hours today, so I'll probably throw on both albums and compare. But for me, I have this one, Flower Boy 2, and then Igor 3.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, but also from this year, like you were saying, it's a really good year, but shout out LP by JPEG Mafia, really, really close to Call Me If You Get Lost for me. Also, this is a very, very experimental album. Have you ever heard of Injury Reserve?
No.
No, this is like kind of what you were talking about with the Mac Miller album. This is kind of my album that serves that purpose for you. This is does that for me. It's called By the Time I Get to Phoenix. It was an album. They're a rap producer group, and this is an album that they were in the process of working on, and one of the members unfortunately passed away. And so this album sort of deals with that grief while paying homage to all the great things that they did together as a group. It's kind of a tough listen, I can't lie. Very experimental production. When I first heard it, I was like, what is entering my ears right now? But this is one of the albums that has really shaped like my love for experimental production in hip hop. So definitely give it a shot. I mean, it's not going to be for everyone, but really like this album. Also, shout out The Off Season by J. Cole.
Yep.
Really kind of underrated project from him. Like, he was going off. Also, Planet Her by Doja Cat. I really like that
I
one.
really like that album too. There was some great songs on that one. I don't think Doja Cat will ever. I mean, whatever. What was the Pink album? Like, you remember what I'm talking about with the Pink album cover?
Yeah.
That was a good album too.
That was, yeah.
But I don't think she's ever gonna get close to what she was doing then.
I hope so. I'm not a big fan of the direction she's going in right now. Like the Jack Harlow song.
Yeah, that was terrible.
What are we doing?
What
are we doing now?
All right.
But yeah, 2022. Another what a year, you know?
Yeah, personally, I didn't think this was that great of a year.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't like look at the right things, but just in my opinion, for some reason, it just didn't stand out to me that much. So I had Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin is my number one.
Yeah.
Me and my boys all just loved this album. My highest point on this album, probably one of my favorite points of music, was the Metro Spider into I Can't Save You.
Thank you.
Transition.
Yeah.
Both great songs, and that transition is just like...
I think Metro Spider might be my favorite Young Thug like song ever.
I can respect that.
Like,
that was definitely mine for a long, long time.
Yeah. That is a really, really good album. I think it's Metro's best. And yeah, there really aren't any misses on this. He was pulling out like the iconic songs you were mentioning. So yeah.
Yep.
I really, really like this album.
Yep.
This year I'm kind of like, I have like kind of 3 albums that I like them all for different reasons, and I don't want to commit to any of them because I feel bad committing to any of them. But I mean, this year we got Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick. Another kind of tough listen, you know, there's some very, very heavy topics on this. And there's also like, there's more upbeat songs like N95, one with Kodak Black. But yeah, this deals with a lot of heavy topics of like mental health, childhood trauma, stuff like that. And there's some of like the least accessible songs in Kendrick's career, I think, on this album, and also some of the worst attempts at like making a hit that I think he's had.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to like rate this album and think of it in context of all his other stuff, because like there are those really low lows, but there's also like some of the highest highs, like writing wise. So I really have to like, I had to talk about it. But I also really liked The Forever Story by Jid from this year. I think this would be a lot of people's number one. For some reason, it's never like entirely clicked with me, like to become like, I don't enjoy it as much as some other people do, but I do recognize it as a really good album. There's a lot of great songs on here. Obviously, Surround Sound was the big hit that pretty much everyone's heard, but there's also a lot of other really good tracks on here, really good writing. I really, really love Cody Blue. I think it's 35 or 31. But that song is really beautiful. And stuff like System, the outro track, stuff like that. But another shout out from this year is probably the album from this year I go back to the most. Have you ever listened to FKA Twigs or heard of her at all?
I've heard of her, but I can't say I've ever listened to her.
Yeah, this is the only album she has that I would categorize as hip hop. She doesn't really rap, but the production is very like trap, like modern trap inspired. This is just like a kind of an album full of like bangers. You have like there's a Weeknd feature on here. There's a Daniel Caesar feature. You ever listen to him at all?
Daniel Caesar?
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite R&B artists ever.
Definitely. They have a great song together on here. I just think it's very underrated. This is probably the one I go back to the most. So if you want something that's a bit more bright, a little bit artsy, I would definitely recommend this one. That's called Capper Songs by FKA Twigs. I don't know if it's a mixtape or an album, but I definitely recommend it. Also, shout out Dawn FM by The Weeknd.
Good album.
SOS by SZA.
Yeah.
And also It's Almost Dry by Pusha T. This year is really good.
Yep. And then in terms of trap, I just want to give a quick shout out to DS Forever by Gunna. For some reason, it always just stuck out to me. I remember when it first dropped, there was a ton of like Gunna hype going on around because he just kept having like snippets that would get huge. So one was P Power, which ended up getting a Drake feature.
Yeah.
They switched the beat on it a little bit, and the original beat was better, but the song is still good. You also had Too Easy by featuring Future, and there was one more. She banking on me on the bank. I can't remember the banking on me. All those were just great songs, and so I just wanted to give a quick shout out to that album.
I'll have to check that out. All right, 2023.
What were your thoughts on the year?
I don't know. It felt kind of light to me. Looking back,
I thought it sucked personally. My favorite album of the year was For All the Dogs by Drake, which I know to a lot of people it doesn't stand out as a good Drake album. But I think this album was a lot of like I don't need a girl, like I'm a big man, like I treated girls well and they messed me up. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd just gone through a phase like that. So when he dropped this album, it just really stuck out to me, and like I was like, man, yeah, Drake, yes. Screw my ex, man. Yeah.
That's kind of the energy throughout the entire thing, and throughout like Drake's music as a whole recently.
Yeah. So
not my favorite lane from him, but I respect it. I liked the album when it came out. I haven't really gone back to it since that. I think it came out in like the fall of 2023. Yeah. There's good songs on here. Obviously, you got like First Person Shooter, which is a banger.
Yep.
I really like Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
That's the one I go back to a lot.
Yeah, with the Frank sample in the background. It's a great song. You also have Another Late Night with Yachty, and that was just a good hype song for me and my friends. 8 a.m. in Charlotte. I think that was a good one at showcasing his rapping ability.
I used to really like what's it called? The one with SZA on it.
Slime You Out.
Slime You Out. I used to really like that one, and I re-listened to it. His bars on that song are, oh my god, terrible.
Yeah, I never got into that song very well. My favorite song was actually IDGAF featuring Yeet. That one kind of blew up for Drake sounding corny on it.
Yeah.
And I agree, he definitely was out of place a little bit, but I think
Yeet went crazy.
Yeah,
though.
Yeet went absolutely crazy, and I've always been a big Yeet fan, and that like trippy intro into that hard like bass hitting, like me and my like friends would just get so hyped listening to that.
I don't really know why this didn't fit on the album. I don't think
no,
at
it
all.
Did not.
Like you could tell like he had been listening to Yeet. He was like, okay, I need a Yeet song on here, but Yeet doesn't fit on Drake's production.
No.
So we have a Yeet production. Most of the song is Yeet, but then Drake is just kind of also there. But yeah, that's a good song. My biggest beef with that album is just his writing. Like, he'll just throw in like these one-liners that are just like, why did you feel the need to say that?
Corny.
You know?
Yep.
Like Biden my time and it got presidential. That was when I was like, okay, Drake, good one. But from this year, like you were saying, I don't think it was a very great year. I mean, shout out the Ice Spice album, I guess.
Bro.
Like Utopia was I think it was good.
It was okay. My only issue with it was when I first listened to it, me and my boys had like a listening party. Like we were all like, oh, we went to my boy's basement, like chilling. We're like, all right, Travis, we're ready. And he dropped it. And I just remember us listening to it and being like, this kind of sucks. Like, what is he doing on here? And we actually ended up switching it to the Post Malone album, Austin, that had just dropped. And everyone loved that album more than Utopia.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good album. I think it's definitely had that whole lot of Rut effect, but I couldn't get into it that much.
Yeah, I really liked it when I first heard it, and it's sort of grown off me a little bit. He took so much inspiration from Kanye on this. Like, there's multiple songs that are old Kanye songs that were demos that he never released that Travis Scott just sort of repurposed. And it feels like it's kind of just chasing a vibe more than like an actual distinct vision. It's kind of all over the place production wise. It has a dark sound overall, but you have songs like Hyena, which have like such insane energy, and then you have like a song like K-pop, which sounds like literally everything else on the radio. And yeah, songs that I like on this album I love, and I think there's some of Travis's like best stuff, but as a whole album, it's not my favorite from him.
Yep.
But from this year, I have JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown, their collaboration. I don't know if I can say the name because it has a word in it, but it's Scaring the Blank. That is a perfect name for the album, though. Very insanely harsh production, very loud, very brash, probably annoying to a lot of people, but for me, really shaped my music taste. I think some of the best production I've ever heard, in my opinion. I just love how experimental it is. I've never heard an album that sounds like this ever in my life. And I think, yeah, I could go on and on about it, but I mean, it's you kind of just have to listen to it. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's a very like acquired taste.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I definitely, I think that's one of the biggest like JPEG Mafia things is I think it's just a very acquired taste, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it's always been. I've never been a huge fan, but like I understand why people like. I get how great the production is. It's just like it just has never been something that was appealing to me personally. But like
Fair
I
enough.
understand why you would like it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Also from this year, shout out. This is like an R&B album. Have you ever listened to Sampha at all?
A little bit, yeah.
He was on Utopia for like 2 seconds, but yeah, he released an album this year. If you want like that like sunshine vibe, like this album is beautiful. I would very much recommend this one. I wouldn't. It's close to JPEG Mafia's album for me. I don't think it would go over it, but obviously JPEG Mafia's is more hip hop, so that's what's gonna get my album of the year for 2023. But definitely shout out Lahai by Sampha. Beautiful album. I would recommend it to anyone. I think it's very, very accessible to any type of music listener. So
I want to give a quick shout out to Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. I honestly forgot this album dropped this year, but I wouldn't really say it's a rap album.
No,
it's
not
more
at
of
all.
like that.
It's a psychedelic rock,
psychedelic.
but made by a rapper.
Made by a rapper.
Shout out.
Yeah, I think it's a great album. I've always really enjoyed it. I think Yachty was truly impressive on it, the fact that he was able to do it. And yeah, just so shout out to that album.
Yeah. 2023, bit of a lighter year for hip hop.
For
But
sure.
obviously, like it got insane in 2024. And 2025's been kind of light so far too. But hopefully we'll see more big releases coming from people.
Yeah, I mean, we had like The Weeknd and Cardi so far, so
Yeah.
I can't really think of anyone else. I mean, we had the Drake and Party Next Door, but
Yeah,
That was-
we definitely had that album.
we
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know who else is supposed to drop this year, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, hit us up on Instagram. Let us know your thoughts. Who had a better list? Who had better takes? If you agreed, disagreed with any of us, let us know what your picks would be. But yeah, I'm Gabe Schall.
I'm Nate Havrilla.
Thank you for listening.